Good morning, my peoples. MP's Army, how are we this morning? Glad to see you here. Glad that you can join me and glad that I have this opportunity to help you guys understand some of the many causes of generational cycles and how dysfunction breeds from within some of us, because of course it is something that is learned, and it many times depend on what we are enduring within our lives, what type of environment we're in, and what are we embedding into our subconscious mind. So the last time I spoke with you guys, I spoke on emotional abuse. Of course, emotional abuse is just not having that emotional connection, not having that nurturing connection, not displaying love and affection, things of that nature. That to me is emotional abuse, not being able to connect and let one another into who you are, your soul, your spirit, whether it be mother and child, husband and wife, boyfriend and girlfriend. If you don't have that connection, if something is missing, it's probably some type of emotional detachment. So yes, emotional abuse is one of the dysfunctions I discuss. The one we're going to discuss today is called verbal abuse, and I'm sure many of us already know this. It's self-explanatory. Verbal abuse tends to come in the form of insults, tends to come in the form of name calling, belittling, things of that nature. And this too is something that I endured within a few of my relationships in the past when I was young and dumb. But we have to remember that sometimes when we are brought up within environments that display these actions, sometimes it becomes habit for us. Sometimes it becomes natural. Sometimes it becomes the ordinary. We become used to that. So when we become accustomed to abuse, we tend to carry it on into our own lives. And that means that someone is trying to call. That means sometimes we risk passing it on to our children. So it is most imperative that we figure out and recognize the red flags of not only emotional abuse, but the red flags of verbal abuse. I mean, how can you call yourself being in love with someone? How can you call yourself loving and nurturing and cherishing someone when that someone is calling you a bitch, or telling you ain't gonna never be shit, you fat, you need to go lose some weight, that's not love, that's not compassion, that's not healthy. That's verbal abuse. No other way to look at it, but that is verbal abuse. So that can be very self-debilitating. That can bring down one's self-esteem. That can change one's outlook on life, about self and how self deals with life. Verbal abuse and emotional abuse can stagnate one's growth. And if we don't start recognizing these red flags and, things that are, what's the word I'm trying to use? Not red flags, but signals, signs. The signs are there. They're being thrown into our face. It's just for us to recognize them and pay attention to them. And when you become cognizant of that, you will be more willing to change your perspective on life, change your situation on life, change your whole outlook on life. So it starts with paying attention. It starts with loving yourself. When you love yourself, when you really, really, really start to love yourself, you won't let people talk to you crazy. You won't let people call you out your name. You won't let people degrade. You won't let, you're going to stand up for yourself, and you're going to take up for yourself, and you're going to demand that your mate and the person that you decide to be with treat you with respect. And that's real love. That's true harmonic, nurturing, good love. You want that. You don't want to lay down in bed with the man that calls you a bitch. And men, I'm sure you don't want to lay down with the woman that decides to pop you upside your head every now and then because she's not getting her way, or because she's spoiled, or because that's just her attitude. That's just the way she is. No, 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 no. That's not healthy. So, once again, pay attention to the emotional abuse side effects of within a relationship, and pay attention to verbal abuses. When I come back to you on the third video, we're going to discuss physical. But in the meantime, in between time, do not ignore those red flags. They are coming to us for a reason. Someone wants us to change our lives. And as long as we ignore those red flags, our lives are going to remain stagnant, and we're going to remain in dysfunctional and unhealthy relationships, and we're going to be unfulfilled within life. So it is up to us to recognize the red flags and make changes within our relationships. Trust me, when God closes one door, he opens a better one. It never fails. Never failed in my life that when I gave one thing up, God released something even bigger and better to me. So that's the thought. Don't be afraid of giving up what's bad for you to receive something that's better for you. Okay? Until next time, I will see you later. And if you don't already know, I have a book out called Generational Cycles, Putting the Brakes on Family Dysfunction. So check me out on Amazon.com, MP DeVille at Amazon.com. I would love for you to read it. It's a compilation of stories of different types of dysfunction that families may endure, and how those dysfunctions carry on throughout life within families. So I would so appreciate it if you would check it out. And thank you. Spread the word, and let's stop this cycle of dysfunction so we can be healthy, happy, and loving people. Okay? Until next time, peace and blessings. Bye.